Good morning everybody, שפע ברכה והצלחה, הגידל חודש, חודש טוב, משנכנס אדר מרבים בשמחה. And here we are in parashat Teruma. And from this parashat to the end of the Sefer Shemot, we're talking about the details of the Mishkan and more details and more details. And first of all, the question is, why so much details about the Mishkan, especially the Mishkan that is something that was in the desert and we're not going to build it again? Are we architects? What is it our job to build it? But we're not going to build it. So what is the Torah talking about? So of course one of the explanations is that there is a lot of similarity between the Mishkan to the Mikdash, but still there are a lot of things that are not going to be in the Mikdash. They haven't been not in the first temple or the second temple, and probably will not be in the third temple. B'mirabi Yameinu Amen. But so, what is the Torah trying to tell us? The Torah is for eternity. The Torah is not a story that happened years ago. The Torah is talking to us today. And that's exactly the point, to understand and realize that the real idea is Vasuri Mikdash v'shachanti betocham. It says, God, you build me a temple and I will dwell among you. It says, should be in singular, v'shachanti betocho, but that's not what's written. It says, v'shachanti betocham, in plural, meaning that Kodesh Baruch Hu, the real Mishkan, the real Mikdash is inside of us. And that's the idea of building the Mikdash. People put a lot of on the stones and on the building. The temple is important, very important, but if it's not connected to us, to the neshama, to the way we behave, there is no temple. And it's not going to be built. We can wait and wait. It's not going to happen if we don't do tshuva, if we don't realize that the building itself is not enough. It's nothing if we don't connect ourselves into the temple. That's why it was destroyed. Because Vasuri Mikdash v'shachanti betocham. The outside, the way the Mishkan, the Mikdash looks, is a reflection of how we behave. And if we don't do the right things, it's destroyed. Look around what's happening. All the earthquakes, the war in Russia with Ukraine, the corona that we're still not finished with it completely. All those things are happening around and we don't realize that this is God talking to us. If we want to fix things, if we want to understand, it's to build the temple inside us. And this is all those details. All those details are to tell us the way we have to build ourselves. V'chen ta'asu, says the Torah, and that's what you should do. What do you mean we should do? There is no Mishkan, but that's exactly the point. If we learn each one of the tools, of the details of the Mishkan is something that is connected to us. It's like, I think the Rav Neville says it, or I'm thinking because I don't remember. He said it's like a map. When you want to go on a tour, you want to travel, and you want to see places, the first thing you do, look at the map to see what way should I go. When you go on the ways to some place, do you see the map in front of you and they're telling you where to go? But the map is not the place. It's a reflection, it's a map of the way. But the way itself, it's out there. And that's exactly the point. This is the way, the details are the map of how we should go and walk and to build ourselves. Like a plan of a building. This is the plan of the building of the whole world. This world, the next world, to say that the Adam is Olam Katan, that we are a small world. And we're not going to go into it, but all the organs we have got, they are also a reflection. They are also a part of the upper world in a certain way. Because in order to understand the spiritual world, we need the physical world, because we are here in Olam HaMaaseh. This is the physical world. And we have to connect the physical part with the spiritual part. And that's the idea of the temple. You build a temple in order to see, this is where I worship God. This is the way it's built, and I have to build this inside me. For example, when we're talking about the Edut, the whole Mishkan, all those days are to contain inside the tabernacle with the Torah, with Aron Hayedut, which is called Mishkan Hayedut. So in other words, what we are really talking about is the Torah. And they say, in the Torah, they saying something very interesting when we look at it, it's what's happening in our Parsha. So we're talking about the ark, and the ark, which the Edut was inside, Aron Edut, is written twice that you have to put the Edut inside. Let me find it. 1 minute. Okay, here. ונתת אל אהרון את העדות אשר אתן אליך, and you put in the ark the edut, which is the Torah, the שתי לוחות הברית, which I'm giving to you. And then it's going on, ועשית כפורת האור, ועשית 2 כרובים, ועשית כרוב אחד, etc., etc., etc. ונתת, and then you put the כפורת on the ark from above it, ואל אהרון תיתן את העדות, and then you put inside the edut again. And by the way, it's the wrong order. It says, if you put the cover on the ark, how can you put the Torah in? Says Or HaChaim HaKadosh, why is it written twice, and why is it written the way it's written? It's to explain to us that when you put the Torah in, that's it. You cannot take it out. It has to stay in forever. And what do we mean? For example, you go on holiday. You go on certain places. How do you behave? Are you particular about if there is kosher food, if there is minyan? How do you behave on holiday? How do you behave when you go on business far away? Do you look for a Bet Chabad? Do you look for a shul? Do you look for all those things? Always says, okay, I'm on business, I'm traveling, I'm on holiday from God. It's like I always say it. I stopped doing it, I'm not doing it anymore. I used to come to a hotel, and I want to go to Mincha and Mariv, and you look around the hotel here in Israel, and you see people with a kippah on the head, and you come to them and says, Mincha, says, and you got those answers that you cannot believe. I davened Mincha already. No, it's only now the time to daven Mincha. You cannot daven Mincha before. I davened already. Or I'm come late, I'll come later. I am busy. But somebody answered me and says, I'm on holiday. What do you mean you're on holiday? There is this story they're telling about this Talmud that he was learning in a yeshiva, and he was really a good scholar. He was learning, and wow, the whole day. But the Rebbe calls the father to come. He wants to talk with him. The father comes to the yeshiva, and he says, your son really, during the day, he learns, unbelievable. But the problem is, when the night comes, he shuts the Gemara, and he goes to Tel Aviv, to clubs, he drinks, and he does things unbelievable. Is this logical? Is this normal? What? Can you be at the day a tzaddik and at night a rasha? Can you be in the day a Jew and at the night a goy? Of course not. You are connected to God, and you connect to God through the Torah. That's the whole idea of the Mishkan and all the details. So one of this main thing is telling you, this whole building is to contain the Torah inside. Your own meaning is to contain the Torah inside, and you cannot take it out. And you have to understand that you used your time here in the best way you can. When we see all those details, to telling us 10 against the 10 commandments, the 10 says that the world was created. We see that the certain tools had a golden crown around them. Everything has got a reason. Maybe we'll talk about this in the next weeks, a few of the things. But now I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about the whole idea, what are we doing in this world? To understand and realize what we should do and how hard we should try to do the right thing. A year ago, we went to Turkey, to Istanbul, to a furniture exhibition, and it was snowing. It was hard snow at that time, and our plan was, we fly in the morning, we come, it's a very short flight, we come there, we go, somebody's waiting for us to take us to the fair, to the exhibition, and then only later on we go to the hotel. We come to Istanbul, and because of the snow, a lot of problems there. But somebody had to wait for us, but he's not there. He's not waiting outside. We don't know what to do. Phoning and doing this, and people helped us. And eventually, our driver comes, and he takes us. Wow! Half of the road were stuck, were closed, were shut. The snow was covering everything. Big traffic jams everywhere. It took us an hour to get to the exhibition. And then it couldn't even take us to the entrance because of the snow, and we had to stop a few, let's say 100 meters or something before the exhibition, and to walk in the snow and to the exhibition. And then, after we've been at the exhibition, we used the time and understood we have to use the time properly. We're walking and looking and doing and talking, and then we come back to the hotel. We are tired, we are finished, and we look for something to eat. And then 11:30, my son Benjamin tells me, "Father, you know, we every week we learn. We have a kviut. We learn twice a week, each time half an hour, and we have to learn. It's 11:30 at night, and my son is telling me we have to learn. I've got no koyach. I want to sleep. I'm tired. I'm finished after this day, but I'm so happy and so proud of my son. And I get up and we learn in the middle of the night this half an hour that we are obligated to learn every week. Another half an hour in another time. But that's exactly the idea. This world is a limited world. And sometimes, if you understand this exhibition for business is crucial, we need it. We need to see new stuff. We need to know what to buy. And this is going to give us the parnasa for the next year. And this is what we have to understand. This world is limited. Even if sometimes it's hard to do the mitzvah. Now you're far away, you cannot, it's hard. You still need to know the edut is inside you, the Torah is inside you, and you have to act and you have to try, because we are here for a limited time. And if we don't use the time in a proper way, we're going to lose tremendous. Imagine to yourself a father takes his son to an exhibition. He knows how important it is. It's only 3-4 days. And his son goes to restaurants, to clubs, and enjoys himself. And the father explained to him, you have to understand, the exhibition is going to finish, and if you go on eating and drinking and sleeping and not going to the exhibition, you're going to lose the parnasa for the whole year. That's what God tells us. This world is limited. So you are with the Torah always. It doesn't matter where you are and what you do. You are with the Torah. As my son told me, 11:30 at night, Father, we have to learn. So we did it. Now, if we realize how important all those things are, if we realize that that's the meaning of everything, that's why the Torah here, 1 parsha, 2 parsha, 3 parsha, 4 parsha, talking about the Mishkan, the Mikdash, the temple, the way it's built, the details and more details, to tell us that's the way. Look and learn how you should act. And the main thing is to understand that the whole thing is for the Torah. And where should the Torah be? Inside us. And we can never take it out. Doesn't matter where we are and what we do. And remember, we are here for a limited time. And if we don't use the time properly, even if sometimes it's hard to do a mitzvah, but think about the reward. Think about the love to God. Think about how close you get to God if you do things in a proper way. It's we have every Shabbos I'm giving a shiur in Tehillim. It used to be a big shiur. Now it's a very small shiur. But 2 o'clock, Shabbos afternoon, who wants to come and learn? People want to sleep at that time. And I always remember there was one summer that we had a problem with the air condition, and it was very hot. But we kept on learning, sweating and learning. But then I explained to everybody, do you know what we did now? When we were learning with all those difficulties and sweating, and still we did it, 2 o'clock at Shabbos, do you know what God thinks about us? How God loves what we did. And with this thing, we showed how we love God, and we put a price tag on the love of God. We put a price tag on how important it is for us to learn this shiur, even if it's difficult. So in other words, the next time when we had an air condition, it was easy. We got the reward for the way we acted when it was hard and we were sweating and there was no air condition. We putting the price tag on things, the way we behave, the way we try to get as close as we can to God. Look around us. Look what's going on. People talking, shouting, talking about a war. Haven't we got enough wars? We are brothers. We should look in the Torah and understand that Torah is written about mechubarim. Everything was connected together to one. This is what we have to do. Yes, there are arguments, there are discussions, but still, we are one people. We are one nation. We have to work things out in a nice way, not with threats. This is one of the main lessons from our parashat. This whole building, all the details, the story they tell us is how we should behave, how we are going to build this temple inside us. And the minute we succeed to build this temple inside us, with the basic of everything is v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, to love each other, then we will see the third temple coming down, B'ezrat Hashem. And maybe this is the time, Rosh Chodesh Adar, the months of Simcha, when everything, v'na'afochu, everything turned to the good, to the best, to the B'ezrat Hashem. This month, everything will turn in the right way. And with all the chaos around us in the world, everything is going, B'ezrat Hashem, to go on the good side, v'na'afochu. And we will have a lot of joy and a lot of simcha. Simcha of mitzvah, simcha of Torah, a real simcha, not of nonsense. B'ezrat Hashem. V'asu li mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham. Let's show God that we are building the temple inside us. And the minute we'll do it and walk in the right way, God will help us. And even if it's sometimes difficult, remember, we have only a limited time. And if we go through those difficulties, the reward is much, much bigger. Think about it. And let's do it. All the best and Chodesh Tov.